game in Boone. One of the legends, Linda Robinson, honored before tip-off. The new film room being named for her here inside the Holmes Convocation Center in Boone, North Carolina. Now it's time for business. The top team in the Sun Belt, the Dukes of James Madison, taking on App State in the Mountaineers' final home game of 2024-2025. In this one today, first for James Madison, Bob, Peyton McDaniel. She's almost a lock for a double-double or close to it just about every time out.
What can you say about Peyton McDaniel that hasn't been said already? She's the leader by far on this team. She's got a good squad around her, but she leads 5 different categories for the Dukes coming into this game. So she won the Sun Belt Player of the Week last week, 4th time this season. Just incredible performance out of Peyton.
Okay, now for the Mountaineers, we're keeping a close eye, as always, on Zeta Porter. Porter is averaging almost 11 points per game this season, Bob. That's tops for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, and in the Sun Belt play, she's been incredible.
At center circle, Kozlova jumps it up with Pericic, and we are off on the Saturday afternoon, the home finale for the Mountaineers. Not much time left in the Sun Belt Conference part of the season and the regular season as well. Officials, Molly Caldwell, Keisha Brown, Christopher Saucetta. Here we go for one more time in Boone this year. Zeta Porter, our player to watch, stripped to the basketball, run into by Ashanti Barnes, the senior, and the Dukes have it for the first time today. And here's McDaniel. McDaniel drops it in. Good defense down there, losing control of the basketball was Kozlova.
Beautiful double team right there. You can see that App State has scouted JMU very well, but App State going for the 3 with Zeta Porter off the mark. They need to keep pace with the Dukes here today to stay in contention.
It's going to be tough to get up good looks today against the Dukes if you're the Mountaineers, Bob, as JMU is 3rd in the nation in three-point defense. Not 30th, not 13th, 3rd. Here's the jumper. That one is short by Hazel.
And you mentioned, they are good on D. They hold people from the field to 35%, 25% from 3.
Emily Carver close on a 3, but App State has missed on their first 2 Trey tries in this one. Barnes, back to McDaniel. Swings now to Hazel, an experienced James Madison team riding this undefeated streak in conference play. Down low, Kozlova lays it in for the first points of the afternoon.
And Kozlova, it's incredible.
Missed it. Fly-by defense by Ashanti Barnes bothered it. And the Mountaineers have missed their first 3. Down low, Kozlova gets a step on Pericic, and she's fouled. Will she get continuation? Yes, and it's a 3-point play opportunity for Ksenia Kozlova.
And Kozlova is incredible. She's a warrior out on this court. We take a look at how she just fought off Pericic here to go up to the hoop and get the bucket, now trying for the N1 opportunity.
Kozlova takes care of that. 27 minutes per game, 12 points per game, and almost 8 rebounds per. And those 15 boards we talked about earlier this week at Georgia State tied her career high. Porter into the scorers table on the far side, keeps it in play. Eliana Tafisi.
And look at this defense. Whenever somebody drives, there's always a double team.
Tafisi gets a look from 3. Porter trying to do all she can to keep it alive. Moffitt was there to kick it out. Now Carver looking for another 3. She got it. App State hung in, finally sunk it.
Emily Carver in her final home game here. She's a senior, she's graduating, and she sinks a 3. Pretty impressive.
Georgia State was held to 6 of 25 3-point shooting on Wednesday night. 3-pointer missed, out of bounds. It will be App State basketball. The miss from Stevenson, the sophomore at JMU by way of Ole Miss.
We talk about Peyton McDaniel, so good on offense. She's pretty good on D as well. 54 steals this season.
That's the thing right now. There's a race for the top mark in steals. Emily Heggie, a three. Wow! App State has canned back-to-back threes on back-to-back possessions, and they lead James Madison 6-5.
A little bit more patience, I believe, on offense the last 2 possessions down the court.
How about this? One of the best teams in the nation locking down that 3-ball. Mountaineers finding the bottom of the net from money ball territory last 2 trips. Shot clock to 8. Stolen by Heggie. Heggie took it away from Stevenson. She still has it. Shifty to get it to Moffitt. That's a turnover in the hands of Ashanti Barnes.
Oh,
just
wow.
A bit too far out in front of Hazel.
Heggie had that pass just a little bit too low for Rylan Moffitt to handle. She came back down the court, batted the ball out of bounds, and went for a ride after the baseline. Let's take a look at this here. And here you see Emily Heggie with the hand.
Serving the high country of Western North Carolina. Quality tiles for every space.
Time now for series history between the Dukes of James Madison and the Mountaineers of App State. All time, James Madison 7-2 over App State. But you know, those 2 losses for the Dukes have come here in Boone against the Mountaineers, Bob.
Yeah, and you know, if you take a look at this record for them this year, they are incredible.
Porter is locked onto by Ashanti Barnes. Shot clock to single digits for the Mountaineers. Carver right back to Porter, who attacks baseline, puts it down for LaFawn, and an N1 opportunity for the fan favorite, Sam LaFawn.
Yeah, Sam LaFawn is so important to this team for App State. Alora Sharp has talked about her so many times throughout the year. She doesn't get a lot of minutes, but she is an energy driver, a culture driver for this team, a big cheerleader. And when you need a presence in the paint, Sam LaFawn, especially with some big ladies on this team for JMU, it's a tall bunch, a physical bunch for JMU, and Sam LaFawn provides that for App State.
LaFawn converts on the 3-point play opportunity. LaFawn averages about 6 minutes per game, playing in her 19th game of the season today. And that 3-point play makes it a 3-point game, almost the same opportunity on the other side for Anna Lucia Goodman. She will go to the line for 2 free throws.
Yeah, Goodman, one of several people from Virginia, the home state team, on this JMU squad. Sam LaFawn will go back to the bench. A good couple of minutes for her.
Goodman, who's a 76% free throw shooter, and gets some assistance. Her first make at the line. Tafisi, shot clock off, 4 seconds to play first quarter. A late 3-pointer try is off the mark from Martinez, and that puts a cap on the first 10 minutes of this one. 18-12. James Madison leads App State by 6. The Dukes shoot 40% in the first quarter. Second quarter next on ESPN+. Turn into more of a physical game than you would initially expect. Porter, this is great ball movement. That's why App State's such a good assist team. Porter misses a 3. That was the 14th 3-point attempt of this game for the Mountaineers. Look at that slip. Pretty stuff. Rose Scott to Anna Lucia Goodman.
App State right now shooting 29% from 3. Remember, we mentioned it's usually about that 25% mark that JMU holds their opponents to.
Lead is 8. Here's Porter. Down low to Pericic. 7 on the shot clock. Fouled by Goodman.
Yeah, Goodman with just a slide of the feet there, and I think because of that movement and that contact there, that's why you see Elena Pericic go to the line. You talk about such an important factor in this team. Pericic has been that, up there, right neck and neck with Porter, leading the team in rebounds, close to the point tally of Porter as well. And she's just such a pretty shot from the outside.
Good form at the free throw line as well for Pericic, who gets the first, a 74% free throw shooter this season. And connects on both.
Free throws will keep you in contention and win games. That's what App State needs to do when they get the opportunity today, and Elena did just that.
Pericic, 6 points, 6 rebounds on Thursday night. Rose Scott hits the three. Scott has 4 points. She had been 0 for 2 from distance before that and finally finds the bottom.
Well, you talked about those 6 points for Pericic. That's part of the reason why I think App State lost that game. They did not get Elena involved as much as they needed to go after the victory.
Tafisi, disturbed, lost the basketball. Rose Scott, heat check time. Scott hits the three. The Dukes with their 4th hit from deep, and Rose Scott on a heater from Moneyball land.
She just keeps on firing it right now. She's made 2 now out of her 4, shooting 50% from beyond the arc.
So Rose Scott answering the bell of Emily Heggie on App State's side. It's a 12-point lead for the Dukes on ESPN+.
Hey, grab me one too.
62-55 final. Got it on Wednesday, so they've had an extra day to get ready for this one on a Saturday. Down low, just off the mark, missing was Kozlova. Keeping it going is McDaniel. That's why she's such a good rebounder. Fouled in the process. 3-point play coming up for the redshirt junior.
You think about what she does, pretty incredible. 35% from 3, those big-time points per game. 86% from the free throw stripe. She does just about everything. 8.4 rebounds. She's okay on the assist side as well.
Yeah. You know, Regan calls McDaniel a by-the-book kind of player, and he says she's really playing with her instincts right now. He kind of feels like she's just in a total zone, and no doubt Peyton McDaniel, if anyone's going to lead this JMU team deep in the Sun Belt tournament, try to get into the big tournament, it would be McDaniel.
Marinera in the game now. She had 18 the last time the Mountaineers went up against JMU.
Back to Porter. Stolen. Active hands by Kozlova. That's why this Dukes team has about 4 or 5 players battling for the steal crown. Rose Scott, is she still feeling it? Too strong.
But here's what I'm seeing at App State. Too much on the forced passes. Nice rotation right there for sure. Emily Heggie's like, whoa, I got it all alone underneath the hoop for a second.
Carver kicked it out to her from Heggie. Missed on the 3. Moffitt, but a whistle before the jumper. Shauna Regan calls it adaptability because even as he says, and he goes back to the later in the earlier years with Kenny Brooks, talking about how even years ago with Kenny, you know, Brooks was an offensive-minded coach. Porter will struggle at the line, but even during those Brown and Stokes seasons, Dukes fans will know what we're talking about there. Even he said, look, we were trying to score, but we couldn't score so well, so we had to do other things well. The Dukes also scoring well here today. Bree Robinson on the 3.
And that's what's important of what JMU does. They get it into Kozlova, and then they can, you know, dish it out to around the arc and get the 3.
5 for 12 from there. And one opportunity now for Porter, continuation.
3 consecutive offensive missions for App State, and each time Zayda Porter is going to the line. Check this out. There's Porter. She's gotten so good, just that touch on the arm, I think, by Kozlova.
Porter puts a bow on the 3-point play opportunity. Had 15 points against Marshall on Thursday night. One of the bright spots there. Had 12 the game before that versus Georgia State. Bree Robinson, can she go back-to-back from 3? Yes. Yes, for the Dukes. Another 3-point hit. They lead by 20. .34 seconds left before halftime. Dukes keep possession. This is a James Madison team that had struggled when they played Georgia State in Atlanta, but that win on Wednesday night in the ATL was the first ever win for the Dukes under O'Regan in Atlanta, Georgia. Goodman lays it in. She has 12, the second double-digit score for the Dukes. Shot clock is off, and Porter will bring it up. The lead is 20 for James Madison, largely on this big second quarter. Outscoring the Mountaineers by almost double, 30-16. Can App State end with something? Carver, that one blocked by McDaniel. The Dukes bench loves it. McDaniel's outreach snuffs it away, and the Mountaineers 4 for 18 from 3 in the first half. That is the calling card, one of them for James Madison. That three-point defense. What a second quarter for the visitors from Harrisonburg, Virginia. They'll go into halftime with a 20-point lead. A lot of alumni of App State women's basketball here in Boone today, meeting and greeting the crowd here inside the Holmes Convocation Center. Great to see all these former Mountaineers back. First half too, as Joseph is getting involved as always, even has the selfie stick. I guess they still make those. But here's the thing, the Dukes got outscored in the paint against Georgia State on Wednesday by 4. They've totally turned it around a couple of days later. Dukes lead by 20. When we come back, Amy Haywood, App State soccer head coach, will talk with Bob after this on ESPN+. Welcome back, getting set for the start of the second half. Here's a look. We're almost to the end of the regular season. This is when it really gets good. A look at the Sun Belt Conference women's basketball standings, Bob. James Madison at 15-0, and there's Arkansas State and Troy behind. Really, that team in Coastal, just the 4 Sun Belt teams with double-digit wins, but everyone's looking up at the Dukes, waiting for them to trip up, which they haven't yet in conference play.
And Arkansas State actually 13-3 now because they lost today. And
yep. All right, Dillner, they're giving you a layup here for our final broadcast of the year on the hoop side. Mountaineer Trivia presented by Explore Boone. JMU, they've won 16 straight games, tied for 7th for the longest active win streak in women's D1 history. What is the longest win streak in history for D1 women's basketball?
Is it 24 games?
It's way longer than that.
Way longer? I'm sorry, I'm off on that one.
I'll give you a hint, Gino. 111 wins for UConn.
Oh man, that's right.
Gino. Hope you've enjoyed Mountaineer Trivia presented by Explore Boone all season long. Pericic for 3.
You got to remember, I'm from New York originally. I always forgot about UConn across the Long Island Sound there.
Whatever you want to say. Quarter splits, but Moffitt boxes out, gets a rebound. This could be huge. Mara Neira for 3. A big sequence, a 4-point sequence for the Mountaineers.
I've been surprised that Neira hasn't been in the game. She had 18 against JMU, and there she is. That's her prowess, hitting that 3.
17-point game, working phases. Here's Rose Scott.
Are you kidding me?
You gotta work against her though, Bob. She has 11, and she's putting on right now for Harrisonburg.
She was like a bunny rabbit, hop, skipping, and jumping in the hoop.
Pericic back to Neira. To Porter, tough catch. Against Robinson, now to Martinez, who's fouled.
And Scott committing the foul there. That'll be her second.
Embodies everything that Sean O'Regan loves about his team. Players who just, they are so intelligent. Heggie with back-to-back makes 4 quick points for Emily Heggie. She has 13. And Dukes take a timeout here. Sean O'Regan wants to collect his team. It doesn't take much to get him out of sorts because he's so used to his team just playing with such fervor, such intelligence. He's not afraid to take a pause and let them get it in order. Such a smart coach.
Have you ever been up to the JMU campus?
I haven't.
It's beautiful.
I know it is.
Just
I've heard it.
downright beautiful up there in the western part of Virginia.
Now, talking about beautiful and pretty, how about that move for Zakiya Stevenson? Dipsy-do, tight ropes her way through and scores.
The only thing I didn't like about the football stadium is it's very steep. And where I sat for that App State JMU game a couple of years ago, I think the fireworks were lower than I was.
For those joining today that have been cheering on the Dukes, they know what their athletic situation is. They've got big, promising success. Angela Williams hits the three. Williams scratches her name onto the score sheet. She's got 5. Football's been good. Both of these basketball teams dominating in Sun Belt play. Moffitt, under a minute to go.
And that's unusual for Moffitt. She leads this team in field goal percentage, so that's a big surprise. She's been off just a little bit here today, but I'm telling you what, you're going to see these Mountaineers, I'm sure, work hard before next week's games.
Yeah, the rebounding margin, 42-28 in favor of the Dukes. Shooting 47%, trying to add to it, they do. How about that for the cherry on top for James Madison? Zakiya Stevenson with the Dukes' 8th three-point make. Talk about putting a bow on it.
Stevenson's got 9, 5, and 5. Incredible.
And right at the end of the game, we almost get to JMU's biggest lead of the game, and officially we do, 28. Shot clock, game clock, almost identical. On 10 seconds of this one, down low, Pericic fouled by Laura Monarova. Pericic back to the free throw line, where she's 2 for 2 today. Standing by here, post-game, Bob Doner's going to talk to Sean O'Regan, a couple of James Madison players, as the Dukes are going to ride their winning streak, not just in this series over App State. It'll be an 8-2 all-time record here in about 8 seconds, but the Dukes looking to extend their winning streak to 17 in a row in a perfect 16-0 in Sun Belt Conference play. James Madison sweeps the regular season series over App State, 25-4, 17 consecutive wins, and 16-0 in the Sun Belt Conference with just 2 games left for this mighty team out of Harrisonburg, Virginia. That's 2 of the best right there for the Dukes. Peyton McDaniel, how good is she? And Sean O'Regan. This team is something else. Meanwhile, right now giving that interview for radio, Anna-Lucia Goodman, who had a great game of her own. I would say a great, not good game for Goodman, who had 10 points in this one. Doing some radio, wrapping that up. So the Dukes, they're a busy team, a lot to take care of when you're on a big winning streak and you're undefeated in the Sun Belt. 83-57 is the final. James Madison gets it over App State. Been a fun season with you all here on ESPN+. Want to thank the entire team. Of course, Bob Dillner alongside. I'm Corey Hodges. Thanks as always to Blake Roebuck, Zach Kellogg, Matt President as well from time to time filling in. We appreciate everyone joining us this season here on ESPN+ for women's basketball here in Boone. The Dukes win it over App State in the Mountaineers' home finale. So long on ESPN+. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.